It is early November, and I am once again back at Pictured Rocks, Michigan, along Lake Superior. And I'll be getting on a trail here soon. And right here you can see that I have my permit attached to the side of the pack. It's a beautiful day today. It's supposed to be in the upper 50s with a low of 40 tonight. I will be starting at the Munising Falls trailhead. And I'll be hiking a little over 5 miles to Cliff's Campground. And it looks like this bridge may be closed. Yeah, it does look like I'll be taking a detour. I'll have to turn back right here. Of course the parking lot is just right up there. Now, I will have to walk down this road a couple hundred yards. Then I'll have to catch up the detour trail. And now I'm coming up to the detour trail. And this will meet up with the North Country trail. And now I have come up to my first hill climb. As you can see, it's not too bad of a climb. I have now made it to the top. Off in distance you can see Lake Superior. And as you can see, almost all the leaves are gone. So you should get some really good views today. Well, last time I was here was in February. Quite a difference in weather. It was very warm today. And my pack weight, total pack weight, last February was over 35 pounds. And today my pack weight is about 21. I have now come up to the first small waterfall. You can see how all the rock is carved out down there. That's really neat. The water is flowing a little slow right now because they are a little behind on rain. And if you watched my December video from last year, a lot of rain and everything was flowing about twice as fast. And this is a view from the top of that small waterfall. See, you're going right over a ledge there. And there's actually a second waterfall over there, a small one. And I better get on a trail. Still got about an hour, 45-minute hike to the campsite. I've come up to another small waterfall. And you can see the bridge on top is where I'll be crossing. Some of the areas still have a few leaves left in the trees. And as you can see, I have a good little climb coming up. That was a good little climb, but now as you can see I'll be going down for a while. You do get a few hills on this trail. Here we have some nice fall colors. You do get a few muddy areas on this trail. I ain't getting my feet wet yet. Of course, sometimes it's hard to see the mud in the water with the leaves covering it. In the distance, you can see some of the beaches at Sand Point. You can see the marsh area, Grand Island in the background, and of course Lake Superior. And this will be the next waterfall on the trail. And I've gone about 2 3/4 miles so far, and I'll have about 2.5 miles to go to the campsite. If you ever plan on coming up this way around November 1st, it's a very nice time of the year. I can hear a waterfall coming up. Looks like another nice little smaller one. Little bridge crossing here. I don't know if they checked it out. Oh wow, this is nice. Never seen this last time I was here. The water is running actually pretty good. And you can see where the water is coming from. Right up on top of this hill somewhere. Another small waterfall. And there's that neat looking cave area I saw last year. Carved right into the side of the cliff. I'm about 3 miles into this hike right now. The next spot that I see where I can sit down and stop for a quick 5-minute break. And this is a view from the other side of that small waterfall. And in February, this is where I saw those ice climbers climbing up the cliff. And right now I think I'm going to stop right over here and take a break. Nice log to sit on. I'm all done now with my short 5-minute break. I want to get back on a trail as soon as possible because it gets dark sooner this time of the year. And this time of the year, right now we're getting about 9 hours and 45 minutes of daylight. And it's going to be getting dark in about 3 hours. I'm still about an hour away from the campsite. And right there you can see Sand Point. And a view of Lake Superior and Grand Island off in the distance. You need to see what this stump looks like on this tree. That's amazing. Here we have this little bridge. And I don't see any trail markers anywhere. And with the leaves all over the ground, it can make it very difficult to find a trail. But I'm going to guess it's in this direction. I'll find out. They were about 200 feet away with this little bridge. So I did get lucky and I was on a trail. And it's very hard to find these markers. There might be one on a tree right there. You see how small it is. It may be a little hard to see the waterfall from here, but it's a long ways up. Here we have some more beautiful colors along Lake Superior. And right here you can see one of the rock formations along the cliffs that pictured rocks. Now I've come up this amazing opening. You get a real nice view of Lake Superior. And right over to my right will be some more cliffs and waterfalls. It's a little hard to see the waterfalls from right here, but if I remember right, when I go on the other side I should get a good view of them. And this will be from the top of the falls. And I do have my tripod attached to the camera, so let's see what kind of view I can get. That's a little hard to see the waterfall through all those branches and trees. You can see it goes way down there. And then you can see some of the cliffs on the side here. Check out the size of this tree that broke off and landed right on the trail. So it made us walk a lot closer to the ledge there. A little bit tight getting through, but it wasn't too bad. Oh, look at the view of the water down there. It's extremely clear. Like I said before, it's like a turquoise blue color. And right there you can see some of the cliffs over at Grand Island. Off in the distance you can see Miner's Castle, and then you can see some of the high cliffs along the pictured rocks shoreline. Another thing worth mentioning is that these trails run very close to the ledges, in many areas that pictured rocks. So you should take a little extra care, especially if it's wet. I should be getting near the Cliffs Campground. And this looks like a good water source right here. I'm sure in the dry season, most likely there's no water running. I remember this tree from last winter. It made a good bench. So I know what that means. I'm getting very close to the campground. And there's the sign, Cliffs Campground. I finally made it. So I'll walk in the woods about 300 feet, and that's where the campground will be. There's some deer running. I don't know if you can see it in the video. There, now I've arrived at the Cliffs Campground. I'll be setting up my hammock somewhere over here. One good thing about the Cliffs Campground is that you can get a cell phone signal. Many areas at Pictured Rocks, there's no signal. I have everything laid out in this ground tarp. And I'm going to set my hammock up right here. One thing I use for my tarp is these lightweight aluminum stakes with this guy line that I tie to it, and I'll make a loop on the end. And what I do, so I'll put the stake right through this loop, right, like this, and it just fastens right there. Stake it down to the ground. It's extremely simple. One thing I ordered from Dutch is 2 of these little fleece clips. They're extremely lightweight and it makes setup so simple. I now have the half-foot hammock all set up. I'm using the 20-degree EE under quilt. Since it didn't take very long to set up my hammock and tarp, I decided to make a small fire using some birch bark that I cut off a dead tree for a fire starter, and some small dry twigs with some sticks, and then I'll feed it with some larger wood. Now you can see that I got a good fire started. It only took me about 5 minutes to get to this point, and now I think it's time to cook some supper. Well, like I said, this is my very first time ever trying the Fancy Feast alcohol stove. And my little windscreen. There's a little bit of a breeze today. That didn't take very long to boil. And tonight I'll be eating beef stroganoff with noodles. And I'll also mix up some hot chocolate. And now it looks like my beef stroganoff noodles is just about ready to eat. Now you can see in the background, the sun is starting to set. I still got my little fire going. Most likely I'll add some more wood to it, keep it going for another hour or two. Here you can see the beautiful sunset right over Grand Island. You can see Lake Superior. Some leaves are still left on the trees, but most of them are gone. One thing nice about setting up camp early You have plenty of time to make a nice fire. And tonight it looks like it's going to be cool because there's no clouds. It's actually starting to get a little cold right now. I didn't take my thermometer with, but my guess is it's going to get in the mid-30s tonight. And this fire feels really nice. All of my food is in the black bag. The red bag has my cook set, and my garbage is in a plastic bag. And they also have bear poles. It looks like we should have a clear night tonight with a good view of the moon. It is now 8:30, and to keep myself occupied, since it gets dark so early, I decided just to keep this fire going for a while. And I'll show you where I've been finding my firewood. You can see the fire in the background. And this is where I've been finding all of my wood. It's all maple, it's all dead, so it's easy to break up. I've taken most of it out of this area so far, but there is more. In about maybe 45 minutes I'll let this go out. And then my hammock is set up over there. I am now in Dutchware half-foot hammock. You can see I got a good side lay. I have the solar lantern on. And I'm going to listen to this small radio here with the earbuds for a little while. And I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, it's day 2. This was the best night's sleep that I've ever had in hammock so far. Oh, it's a beautiful morning out. A little windy. Started getting windy around 3 o'clock in the morning. And now I'm going to go make some quick breakfast. Rather than taking out my cook set and boiling water for this mountain house, I think I'm going to have this for breakfast. And a hammock. Nice and small, easy to pack. Now I have my tarp. Pack that in here, it's small, lightweight. And that's the last few items I need to put in my pack. And you can see I have a lot of room left. After walking around taking one last look, I did find one of my carabiners on the ground. I am now leaving the Cliffs Campground, and this will be a little over 5-mile hike back to Munising Falls trailhead. I have been very lucky with the beautiful weather that we got for November. Now this is a nice view from the trail. You can see a cliffs off in the distance. Right here you can see the sun shining on the cliffs on Grand Island. Here comes the little sign. So this will be about the halfway point. 2.7 miles to Munising Falls Trailhead. And if I want to go to the right to Sand Point, 0.8. I have decided to stop right here just for a quick 5-minute break. In my opinion, hiking from the Munising Falls Trailhead to the Cliffs Campground, the end of October or early November is the best time, because you would never get views like this with leaves all over the trees. Of course, the only one minor negative is that you get these leaves covering all the wet spots, and my feet have gone through a few times. And we'll be staying on the North Country Trail. And here's a sign showing some of the winter birds in the area. I am once again back at the detour for North Country Trail. I'll be going down here, going around the Munising Falls area. And this is why they have the detour. It's all washed out in this area. I am now back at the trailhead. And once again, thanks for watching Up Trail 71. I have a special thank you to announce to two guys that watch most of my videos, Potato Thorn from out west and Tim Watson from the Ohio area. Thanks guys. I'm just sitting by the fire here and I think of another one of my longtime subs. He subbed me from the very beginning and he watches most of my videos, and that's Dave from Crockett Outdoor Adventures.